Hi everyone, good morning. It's Luke with Deliberate Abundance Coaching. I wanted to talk with you today about those two words, deliberate and abundance. And in the past, for me, abundance meant there was something that I wanted to experience that I wasn't experiencing, whether it was more than enough money or time or the quality of relationships, career, in any of those areas or others. And abundance to me meant that it was more than I needed, more than I wanted, just overflowing with that thing. And there was a space between my current experience in any given area and my definition of abundance. And I wanted that space to not be there. I want to experience an abundance now. And I realized if I change my definition or how I see the word abundance, then I can experience, and I am experiencing an abundance now in any given area. And the way that that works is um, the abundance that I'm currently experiencing is an abundance of my present situations, whether it's my career, my relationships, my health, in any area, what I'm currently experiencing and have been experiencing over the past however long years. I am experiencing an abundance of that type of situation. So by by changing that, I'm bringing the abundance to my present moment, and I am experiencing an abundance. However, it's not a deliberate abundance. It is a default abundance. And what I mean by that is the abundance that I experience in any given area is a default abundance according to how I perceive myself in relation to money or in my relationships. Um, as we're growing up as children, we don't have judgments to make. We don't have beliefs in relation to money, relationships, health, in those areas. So what we experience as children growing up, when in our homes, we take that in to be true, and it becomes our experience. As we grow up, that experience is repeated in the family situation or with other parents, friends' parents, with teachers, other adults. That repeated experience becomes our default belief system, and as adults, we continue with that belief. It's not something that we consciously chose. It's what we were presented with as children when we're sponges, just taking in everything, and when we believe it and it becomes real, and we take those beliefs into our adult lives, and we tend to perceive money, careers, relationships, health through the lenses of our young experience, and so it becomes our default setting. So as adults, unless we change, we are experiencing default abundance in those areas. And the transition from default to deliberate, it's as simple as recognizing what the default experience is, what the default belief is in relation to any of those areas, and then opening up space for a different experience, and then deliberately choosing a new belief. And there may be times when there may be the question, well, how do I know that there even is a different experience to be had? And the easy answer is look at anybody who's having a different experience than you. That's an option. Your experience is an option. It's only one of the endless number of options available. And by choosing to see it differently, believe differently, we can experience differently. For example, if my belief in relation to money is that there's never enough money at the end of the month, or we only go on vacation once every 2 years or 5 years because we don't have enough money to go every year. As a child, as we experience that, it becomes what we believe. It integrates into who we are and our being, our belief system. It's not labeled as wrong or right, it just is. And we begin to act from that in years ahead. So if that's my belief, there's not enough money at the end of the month, and I hear my parents talking about that, talking about bills. Maybe we'll skip this bill this month to pay this bill, or um, whatever that case may look like. It becomes our belief system. So I experienced that as an adult, per se, and opening up to a different experience, opening up space for a different experience. It has to be something else. So you write down what that belief is that you have, and then write down, I open up space for something different. Then I want you to take that belief and I want you to write down its opposite underneath of the sentence, I open up space for a new belief. Let's take relationships for this case. If I continue to experience relationships that are short-lived, they're not meaningful. Someone comes into my life for a short amount of time and they tend to leave. It happens repeatedly. So the belief is, I can't maintain lasting, meaningful relationships. I open up space for a new belief. The opposite of that belief is, I am experiencing lasting, meaningful relationships. And even just saying that, the feeling of that belief, I am experiencing lasting, meaningful relationships, is it's stated in the present. I'm experiencing it now, and there's a different energy to it. And the key with creating a new belief is acting in according to that new belief. We've continued to experience the same experience that we've had in any given area because we've continued to act consciously, or most of the time unconsciously or subconsciously, from that initial belief system. And by acting out of the belief of, I don't experience, or I can't experience meaningful, long-lasting relationships, I continue to create that or have that experience because that's what I learned, it's what I know, and it's what I experience. By acting from the new belief, I am experiencing meaningful, lasting relationships. I perceive situations differently, I interact with people differently, and I become friends with new people. Possibly that may look different for you, but whatever that act is, act from that belief and that knowledge that I am experiencing meaningful, lasting relationships. It might be asking someone out on a date, it might be reaching out to a friend you haven't talked to for a while, or putting yourself out there to meet somebody new. Act from that space, and every time you're in a space of defaulting back or going back to that default, don't judge that as a negative thing. We naturally want to go back to what's familiar, even if it's not what we want. The familiarity of it is comfortable, and so don't judge the tendency to fall back to the old belief, but see it as a way to remember, oh, I feel this. The new belief is, I am experiencing meaningful, lasting relationships. Just let it be a way to remember what the new belief is, and then immediately take an act in the direction of the new belief. And over time, it will become easier, and it will begin to be a natural choice to act from that space, from that new belief, and creating that deliberate abundance. You've decided, I am creating, or I'm maintaining meaningful, lasting relationships. That's a deliberate experience. And by acting from that repeatedly and believing that, it becomes, those pathways in the brain become more traveled, easier to travel, and that choice towards that direction becomes more natural. And in any area of our lives, we can look at what belief system we currently have in place, identifying specifically what the current belief is, writing down what that is, and then opening up space for a different experience, and then writing the opposite of what the belief is, and acting in a space from that new belief. And we can change our lives in any area. And um, be patient with yourself. It takes time. It may be different for each person, but it does take time, and that's okay. It's taken time to develop our current experiences, and we can't expect it to be different. But it can be accelerated with continued action, continued belief in that new belief, and so that's what deliberate abundance coaching is is identifying areas of our life where the abundance is a default abundance, and and transitioning that into a deliberate abundance so we can have the lives and experiences, relationships that we truly want, and take more control of our lives, as opposed to feeling like, gosh, I don't have any control. I just keep having these same experiences. And that's because we don't know what our beliefs are. We don't know what belief systems we were taught, but we can identify them, open up space for something new, and then act from that space. And it's beautiful. It creates a different life. And for myself, I feel the energy, the difference, and it's relieving to open up space and identify something new. I'd love to hear your experiences. Please reach out, and thank you so much for watching the video. Have a great day.